monsters are real, and that train.
Hello, hello.
Hey, what's up, Brent?
What's going on? What's happening?
Fucking hey, dude. I am so excited to talk to you.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. Thanks for taking the time.
What you guys put together with this video, it really inspired me just to be creative, and I have so many questions. So
Okay, all good, man.
how are you? Let's start there.
I'm good. Are you cool with vertical or you need me horizontal?
Nah, whatever. Whatever's
Cool.
comfortable for you.
Yeah, man.
You're in California right now?
No, I'm in South Carolina,
Carolina.
With Eric. We're finishing up, we're finalizing mixes on Shinedown 7 for next year.
Nice. Awesome. How's the weather?
Weather here is good, you know, fingers crossed. Everywhere else in the surrounding regions, not so much.
I know.
But yeah, man, we got a lot of people in all points of the US right now that are kind of dealing with everything that's been going on, but everybody's okay, which is a good thing.
Is there any I might have saw something on the news about something coming in from the Atlantic hurricane?
Nothing crazy. Like, I mean, by the time, I mean, there's a little bit of stuff out there, but like where I'm at, I'm on Kiowa Island. So it's essentially like 35 minutes outside of Charleston. So like the beds of like the coastline and what have you, usually when we can see something going on out there in the Atlantic and we can kind of see which way the weather's going or which way the wind is taking it, we kind of know when to batten down the hatches. And it's just a lot of rain, man, just a lot of cold and humidity merged together, and you get condensation, man. It's Mother Nature, however you want to look at it, man. She's the boss.
For sure,
Yeah.
dude.
When she wants to clean house, she cleans house.
Yeah, she does. Well, I'm glad you're doing all right. The first thing is the cinematography is amazing.
Thank you.
The visuals, I mean, just like the solo in the church.
Yeah.
That really, like, oh my God, I loved it. When you're there in the smoke and maybe the first or second song.
Yeah, you're probably talking about Devil.
Yes, yeah, Devil, yeah. And then just you guys playing in the fire, all amazing, just visuals.
Yeah. It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, and like I just didn't expect it. Like it's very
Well, it's a feature film. It's a real, you know, it's a movie. You know, it's the explanation of, you know, this was a 3-year journey to, you know, get this film to be ready to go, to get it presented to the world. Working with the director Bill Yukich during these 3 years and working with Gravitas Ventures to get it released, and to have it be taken very, very seriously, because there was a lot that went into filming it, and there was a lot that went into when you have a project that takes 3 years to make, and then you have an album. It's crazy too. 36 hours ago, I found out that Attention went gold, and that wasn't planned, but that's really, really cool to hear. And you know, working with everybody from the cast of characters that we had and the people that worked on the film, in front of the camera and behind the camera, you know, we used a lot of, you know, not quote unquote Hollywood tricks. There's not a lot of CGI. The fact of the matter is a lot of the people that Bill Yukich, the director, assembled, these are men and women that have been in, you know, the movie making business for 20, 30 years. So they know a lot of the Hollywood secrets, but everything, all the stunts were performed, all the things that you see, like all that stuff is very hands-on, and we're really proud of it. I think that people are going to have a really fun ride watching
it. It is fun. It is exciting. When you guys are creating this, or when you guys are coming up with this idea in the infant stages, you know, 4 years ago, let's say,
Yeah.
Are you guys like, let's make a song or an album that goes with a movie, or
Right.
like what is the thought process at the very beginning?
Well, ultimately, how to answer that question, a lot of it comes down to the song that became Get Up. Because when we wrote Get Up, myself and Eric, when he played me the piano part, I knew what I was going to write the song about, and I knew I was going to write it about Eric, because Eric deals with something. This is we're very out in front on this, because we have always kind of considered ourselves the type of band that we don't want anyone to feel ashamed or embarrassed to talk about depression, or for that matter, mental health. It's not something that we think that people should be put into a corner and made to feel or be scrutinized for having these feelings. I've often said to people, the worst thing that you can do when you see someone mentally struggling is be quiet. You know, you got to see what's going on. And when we wrote Get Up, and I remember writing the song, doing the vocals that day, you know, Eric needed a day to mix it, called me a couple days later, and back to the studio. Hey, I got the mix ready. Let's listen to it. Went in, listened to the song. I remember I looked at him and I said, can I hear it one more time? He played it again. I turned around, I looked at him and said, you know what this is about, right? And he said, yeah, it's about me. And I kind of was nervous that I might have overstepped a line with that, but it couldn't have been further from the truth, because what he said to me next was, if we're going to be this honest, we're going to be this forthcoming, if you will, then we have to go all the way in. So by having that, you know, permission, if you will, from all of us, myself, Eric, Zach, and Barry, it's a very personal record about all of us. That was the sounding board to know that it was a conceptual piece, to know that it was going to be part of a story that was going to have a lot of different characters, going to have a lot of different people involved, but that it was going to be a conceptual piece. And then immediately from that, like once we had Get Up, that's when Devil came, that's when Monsters came, that's when Pyro came, then that's when Dark Side came, that's when Special came, that's when Brilliant came. They all kind of came after Get Up. And because Get Up gave us a sounding board to know what we were writing about. And then it was always the plan, once we had the songs done, once we had the album figured out, we had the timelines on everything. We knew how we were going to kind of Pulp Fiction and borrow from Quentin Tarantino the singles with the audience, where the audience is kind of like seeing the singles released with the videos going, well, wait a minute, this person's in this video, but they're also here, and what are they doing? Because obviously the goal was to get to the actual film in its entirety, which is 24 hours away from being released.
I mean, I've watched it twice, and I really wish I would have started watching it earlier so I can watch it 3, 4, 5 times, because it's that good.
It also, I would like to think though that it goes quick. Like, you know, technically a feature film needs to be 90 minutes. That's what they say. This is roughly an hour, 10 minutes. But the thing about it is that, you know, it's narrated by me. You know, it's one of those things too, when from a visual aspect, we wanted people, when they watch it, I've watched it 500 times because of editing, and been like, there would be moments where I'm like, this is dragging too long, or this isn't right. No, that's wrong. That's not fun. That's weird. No, this is, you know, I'm snoring over here. Like, this is taking too much. Like, there was a lot that went into the editing, like a lot of work went into the editing, because we wanted people to watch it, but then as soon as it was over, kind of be like, wow, that was quick. I want to watch it again.
It really is. And some of it really reminds me like of like a Black Mirror or a Twilight Zone.
Yeah, totally.
And that's what got me. And it also, like, I've seen other bands try to do this, and have not come out with success. Oh shit.
No, sorry, it was just my low power mode. We're good to go. All right, man. Keep going, brother.
So there was a part of the only other band I've seen to really pull this off really good is, you know, Pink Floyd with Another Brick and Wall, and it's awesome. So with this one, I have questions about Monsters, which is my favorite song.
Sure.
What specifically is happening? Did that girl lose somebody in the war? Or is that little girl her?
Well, so the thing about it is all of these characters tie in with one another, and they're snapshots, without giving too much away at the moment to everybody. You know, all of these characters find each other towards the finale and what have you. So you're grabbing snapshots of these people at different stages in their life. But yeah, so with Monsters, you take from what happened in Get Up, and you find out about this quote unquote infidelity. And you also kind of find out about the torment of that. And that becomes her monster in a lot of ways, because the song itself is about exactly that. Song isn't about monsters, and specifically about, different kinds of monsters, because everybody has ultimately, they've got that one thing that sometimes in their life becomes something that would want to watch them fail, or something that they could never get over. And so the dynamic of Monsters in the storyline was when she's reverting back and kind of thinking about herself as a child and what have you. Everybody has this weird thought process with that. Was, when they look, they go, was she abused? Was, what's going on? And the thing is that, the girl under the bed that's exactly what she is afraid of, is like what's under the bed. The father is actually trying to get her out of that shell. The father is actually trying to be like, hey, like there's nothing under there. You know what I mean? But it's a subconscious thing that she takes on with her, later on in her life. And so there's a lot of symbolism that goes in between, those characters. And then, her father, who in Monsters, and who's, also brought in through Get Up, you see him in a lot of different sections also in the film as well. So I don't know if I'm answering the question like completely.
No, it answered my question. Yeah.
They all of the songs and all the characters find themselves at different places with each other, but certain songs are very specific about what's actually happening. But if you look at the young lady in Monsters, when you get to Get Up and you see what happens in Get Up, where, she comes out of the black dress, when she jumps into the pool, and then she stands before, in the white dress, kind of symbolizing the cleansing, if you will. Mm-hmm. And, so there's a lot of symbolism. And, that was another part of it too, which we didn't want to make it too difficult to understand what was going on. But in the same breath, we wanted to kind of flex, our avant-garde side of our brain. You take something like Dark Side, where we kind of borrow in a way Stranger Things and kind of show you the upside down in a way, because like in Dark Side, one of the main characters, Kat, who's in there, comes in and we're playing behind her. We could care less. Nobody's in the room, what have you. She takes the shot, and all of a sudden she's morphed into this other world.
I know what that one is too. Because I don't have the names of the songs.
Yeah, it's all good.
I didn't have it, so because I'm trying to I was just going through it. So in that, when she's drowning herself, is with that her in the elevator?
Yeah, it's like that, because the liquid is the same color in the elevator as the shot she's drinking. Mm-hmm. And it's also kind of, Dark Side is also the point in the film too, where the characters have no choice but to go through these unsettling kind of corridors in their mind, the things that they don't necessarily talk about, in public, the things that they keep private, the odd little quirks that people have. And it's basically being thrust into that world, understanding like, in order to get to the other side, you are going to have to swim through this chaos. You know what I mean? That's in your head. That's what makes you an individual. Just because you're, you are sporadic at times, or, you have a lot going on. Like this device that we're on right now can be a great tool. It can be an educational tool. Social media can also be massively devastating and like psychologically just mess with you. You got to understand something though, like you have control of this device. That's what I tell people a lot of times. I'm like, look, you're still in control. Okay. But the whole definition of attention in its entirety is also to understand that, look, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter whether you're younger, whether you're older, the color of your skin, that's irrelevant. Your religion, that's up to you. That's what makes you necessary. That's what makes you original. And that's what makes you an individual too. And so the story is built around, there's all different people all over the world. We all come from different walks of life. We all have a story, but it's these dynamics in your journey in life of failure. A lot of times people are just afraid of failure. They don't want to accept failure. They don't want to try something new because they think that I'm not going to be any good at it. Well, you may not be, but you have to fail in order to know what to do next time. Failure is what actually teaches you and keeps you getting stronger. So you're not going to be defined in your life by your failures. You're going to be defined by the fact that you refuse to give up. So you have all these interesting characters in this portrayal, if you will, but they're all being presented this very grandiose situations that they're in, where there's a lot of fear involved in taking the next step. But some of them fail, some of them don't. Some of them don't get exactly the answer that they want. Some of them, it takes them a while longer. But the goal is that, like, as you reach the finale of this story, you find that they all found one another and they all have a respect for each other. Even though they didn't really know each other, you know, they all come from different walks of life, but the journey is still different for everyone.
When you guys are putting this together and you're working with the director, like, do you write out a script?
Storyboarded the whole thing,
okay.
Like frame by frame.
And are you involved in that?
Yeah.
Okay,
The band was involved with all the storyboarding. Bill Yukich, I mean, I got to give a lot of credit to Bill. You know, this is a film by, obviously, Shinedown, but it's a film by Bill Yukich. You know, he directed this. He was also the editor. So it's his baby, man. And he
it was beautiful. Both of you guys did an amazing job.
Yeah, I mean, he took this really really seriously, man. And the other thing too is, like I said, we didn't know Bill really. We hadn't really known much of his work when we met him, and he didn't know anything about us, which was great, actually. And, you know, you find out later that, you know, this dude won an Emmy for editing Beyonce's Lemonade together, you know. And so, and he's been working with Manson, been working with Johnny Depp over the years, been working with Metallica, been working with Red Hot Chili Peppers extensively, like, just a very charismatic, really eccentric in all the great ways of being eccentric type of guy. But that was the difference between him and everybody else. Like, the first thing that we got was the treatment for the first single, which was Devil. Well, when we got Bill's treatment, his treatment was different than all the other directors. Like, everybody else's was kind of like thrown together. Some of them were packets and it's like old school, which is fine. But when Bill gave his treatment of Devil, and this was before we knew that he was going to be the director of everything, his stuff was so meticulous, and he had examples of things, and he had drawings, and he had certain portraits from other things, and he showed us, like, frame by frame, section by section, everything that happens in the video. And a lot of times what happens is you'll get there to the video shoot, it doesn't look the way that the treatment was. You're like, well, how are we going to do this, this, and this? Oh, we'll figure it out. And it never gets figured out. That was not Bill. We showed up the first day with Bill. That shit was tight, man. Like, and it was frame by frame, everything to the minute, to the second sometimes, where it's just very professionally done.
I love working with people like that.
Yeah, man. It's
one less thing to worry about.
Wild stuff coming out of that dome, man. But very, very pro and very scheduled and very respectful of everyone in the cast, the people behind the scenes, the band. Like, he knew what he was asking of his actors and of his stuntmen and of his stunt women and of us, man. Like, you know, putting us in some crazy situations and some of that stuff, and just trusting him, but being really, really pro about it all.
How close is the fire to you when you're performing?
That's right on top of us.
Okay,
it's in there, man.
Something.
Oh, no, it's no joke. That ain't CGI, man. That's real.
You feel that heat then, huh?
Yeah. Well, Barry, man, like, Barry, his back, we had to stop filming for a little while because his back had gotten singed. So, like, his back was like like fire truck red. So we actually cooled him off. They had like blankets over him, like ice everywhere on him, and he was cooling himself off. I actually went in and did my single shots. And then, but Barry was a trooper too. He was fine the next day. It didn't even blister. But the thing is like, no, man, that stuff was serious, man. It was right there.
It made me, when you were explaining the Get Up song,
Yeah.
That brought a tear to my eyes. I mean, because that shows that you guys are real brothers.
Man.
And you guys love your craft. You love your
Yeah.
musicians, and you love each other, or your music, and you love each other. And I think that's awesome. I have two last questions before I end.
Sure.
What was your favorite story to tell?
Just in life?
No, I mean in your
My favorite story to tell
in this movie.
You know what? If I think about it, if I don't think about it for too long, it was definitely Special. Like Special was the one where there was something. So it's one of the reasons why people have asked us before, like when you look at the track listing, like on iTunes, for example, for Attention, every song is all capitalized in Attention, except for Special. It's all lowercase. And there's a reason for that. And that was meant to be, and we were very, very lucky. We were honored enough to have Francesca Eastwood come in and play that role as the young lady who gets out of the car and she walks in and she's kind of like looking at everybody like, well, there's these people performing on stage and they're like really great. Why are you looking at your phone? Like, why aren't you paying attention to what's going on? And then all of a sudden you see the characters come back out again, and not to give too much away or what have you, but there was a simplicity to that. And there was also such a heartfelt, the way it was shot, the amount of characters that were involved in it, like the way it looked, the visual aspects of it. That was a really cool story to tell. But, I also, the hardest thing to figure out of the whole project was how do we finish it? Like with Brilliant, like what do we do? Like, how do we kind of get it to where it all kind of makes sense? And I got to give credit to Bill Yukich for that, because we had these other thought processes of what it was going to be. And there was this whole desert thing that we were going to do and all this stuff. And Bill was like, no, it's no good. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. And people will see how the film, wraps up, because it doesn't really end. Even at the finale of the film, I say, till next time, and so that's kind of the beauty of it. But once again, less is more at the end. And it was such a way of showing camaraderie of not only all of the storytelling that had been done, but all the people involved with the storytelling, and to like give them their just, without giving too much away here. Want people to see how the film ends or how the finale is. But I thought that was such a cool way of finishing it out, how he did that with everybody in the cast and giving them recognition.
That's amazing. And my last question is, I'm not sure if this is a song name, Kill Your Conscience.
Yeah, KYC, Kill Your Conscience.
The funny thing is, when I was listening to that song, I felt every second of it, because that's what I do. I do that. I kill my conscience. I go home, I do the adult things, and then I smoke weed until I just forget fucking all the problems of the world and fall asleep.
Yeah, everything in moderation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
everything in moderation, man.
But
that was the thing about Kill Your Conscience, though, man. That was a very poignant song when we were writing it. That song, there was a lot of thought that went into the production of how that song sounds also. But the visual aspect of that was, that was one of the reasons why we brought the young lady in to represent the exclamation point, because she's in black with the yellow background, but she's signing. So it's like sometimes when you can't hear, it was like, I can't hear you. You can't? Okay. You know, and that was another level too of kind of like going, you know, where you could become introverted sometimes and you forget that you have to kind of tell people, yo, that song in a lot of ways is a warning, like to not kill your conscience, you know, but once again, I'm getting to the point. That song is about, you know, you got to remember everything in moderation, you know, and that's something where we get over processed with social media and we're just on these machines all the time. Put it down. Like you're in control of this. At the end of the day, you can turn it off. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that we worked really, really hard on the subject matter in that song and how it tied into the story. And I mean, we were racking our brains, like, how can we make this really interesting? And then once again, Bill was like, let's have somebody do sign language on a script. And like and it's just, you know, once again, stuff coming out of the guy's head. You're just like, what? And then there's a whole reasoning behind that as well, like to not leave anybody out. You know what I mean? Like you want to have that dynamic. It was about pushing the envelope too.
Did you guys also experiment with your sound? Because some of the
100%.
Okay, yeah, some of the songs was just like not the Shinedown that I remembered, and in the evolution.
Let me ask you this: did you still like it?
No, I love it. I love that the way that you guys have evolved. I love your art. I love the storytelling. And it made me, because I remember when I was younger, I was a huge Shinedown fan. And then, you know, throughout life, you know, other music comes or problems.
Obviously,
And then to have this come across the computer and to read it, to watch the video, it just, and to spend the last 2 days in this was just amazing for me. And I fell in love with you guys again.
Like, oh man, that's so sweet of you and very, very kind. I take that very seriously. A lot of it had to do with Eric, and obviously myself and, you know, Barry and Zach. Like, people may not know this, but Eric Bass, who's the bass player in Shinedown, who is way more than a bass player, produced Attention, Attention. Obviously is one of the main songwriters on Attention, Attention, but we did it in his studio here in South Carolina in 2017. He had already done certain song productions before, like Diamond Eyes, that's Eric's production. Cut the Cord, that's Eric's production. But he hadn't done a full record yet. I didn't think that he was ready just yet. And for Attention, Attention, though, it was time. Because the thing is, too, is we've had a lot of great teachers. We've had a lot of great men and women, engineers, producers. We recorded in some of the most elite and state-of-the-art recording studios, not just in America, but abroad. And it was time for us to do it ourselves. It was time for us to do it our way. And a lot of times, believe me, you go to a record label, and we've been with Atlantic Records for 20 years, and we don't take that, you know, we don't take that lightly. We're very respectful of that. But sometimes you go in, man, and you hear that the band's going to produce it themselves, and people at the label are like, oh God, it's going to be a prog record, or, you know, or something. And obviously it wasn't that, because we still write music that we actually want to listen to. And because people, you know, ask us, like, you know, if you hear yourself on the radio, you know, what do? You turn it off? A lot of people are like, oh gosh, I don't want to hear that. I'm like, no, man, I turn that shit up. I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? So the thing is, Eric was never going to make it sound like anyone else but us, because he produced it, he engineered it, and he mixed it, you know. And those mixing days were long. I mean, it was me and him, you know, but never once, not one time, never once did we ever raise our voices at each other. Never once did we ever argue. Never once did we ever, you know, you find yourself sometimes when you're dealing with other people, that are not in the band, and they're there when you're younger to help you on your journey in your career. Don't get me wrong, but we were ready to do it ourselves. And we knew, Eric had a great way of putting it too. He said, I would rather, this is Eric talking, but he said, I would rather, he said more than anything, he was like, I would rather make it, because what I don't want to do is, he said, I would rather me go crazy making the record rather than watching someone else go crazy trying to make the record. And that held a lot of weight. Like we knew what it needed to sound like. We knew it was going to take a minute to get there, but it's an evolution, man. It is. You know, we evolved as musicians. You know, Leave a Whisper doesn't sound like Us and Them. Us and Them doesn't sound like Sound of Madness. Sound of Madness doesn't sound like Amaryllis. Amaryllis doesn't sound like Threat to Survival. And none of those records sound like Attention, Attention. You know, they're all equal to their own parts. And that's another thing too. If you want to make the same record over and over again, if it works for you, go for it. We just can't do that. It's like writing the same song over and over again. We just try to evolve. And we're lucky that our fan base allows us this platform to be ourselves, and they grow with us.
I'm you know, I don't know you, but I'm proud of you. I'm proud of.
Oh my God, man, you're so rad, dude. You have such a killer energy. I dig talking to you, man.
Man, if I was in a theater and that shit ended, I'm standing. It's a standing ovation.
You're so awesome, dude, for saying that. That makes my heart so happy. You're very cool to say that. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your time. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
I'm 100% certain the world is going to see how wonderful this shit is.
I appreciate it very, very much, man. Thank you for taking the time out of your day too, man. I know you have an excellent platform, and thanks for the promotion and just telling people about it, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. If you can do us a favor and say,
Yeah.
Don't forget to pick up, what month is this? It's going to be October? No, November. I think this? Oh,
this
October.
We're in September.
Okay, so don't forget to pick up October's No Cover magazine with Shinedown on it. Just so we can
so don't forget to pick up, say it one more time.
October's issue of No Cover magazine.
October's issue of let me write it down, because I'm terrible with this sometimes. I just have to make sure if I write it, a lot of times, pick up, don't forget.
Get your copy.
October's issue of No Cover magazine. All right, it just helps when I write it down. All right, just into the camera?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Brent Smith of the band Shinedown. Do not forget to pick up this issue. I messed it up already. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, guys and girls? This is Brent Smith from the band Shinedown. Don't forget to pick up October's issue of No Cover magazine, because I said so.
I'm mad. Thank you so much. Good luck with
You're
it.
welcome.
Be safe out there. Be careful.
Absolutely, man.
And
you do the same.
I'm gonna watch this shit another time.
Where are you based out of?
Ventura, California.
Oh, dude, man, that's my stomping ground, dude. I lived in Thousand Oaks from 2011 to 2016. I still got tons of brothers in Simi Valley and that whole Ventura era.
Well, man, if you have any time, we always put our magazine puts on the Ventura County Music Awards.
Okay.
Pretty classy event. If you ever have time, I'll put your name on the guest list or whatever.
100%, man. Well, listen, man, we're gonna be doing California in January of 2022. That's on the down low right now. Nobody knows that, but as soon as we get out there, man, make sure that management and press here, like, they got all your contacts, man. And as soon as we're near you, man, please come out to the show. Bring as many people as you want. You got the full red carpet. Come backstage and hang out with us.
Oh my God, I appreciate you.
Yeah, just let management know, man, that we're good to go, and I said so. And like, when we're out there, man, when we're near you, come, be our guest. We're happy to have you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate
it, brother.
And enjoy yourself. Thank you. Also, thank you for the art. It's amazing.
Be safe. I'll talk to you later. And it really means a lot to me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.